Hey y'all, my name is Annie. Welcome to my channel, Eat, Drink, and Be Reading. And today I'm gonna do my very first book haul. So I don't tend to buy a ton of books. One, these are our bookshelves and it's shared with all of our office supplies. In fact, this is not very attractive. Let me move down our box of papers. Oopsies. And so I don't have a whole lot of space right now. A lot of our books are in boxes until we have a bigger house with more room for bookshelves. And also I have a lot of books I haven't read yet, and I read a lot of books on my Kindle from Kindle book deals, and I read a lot from the library. But I don't know if quarantine got to me, or BookTube got to me, or looking on Book Outlet for the first time got to me, but I have bought a bunch of books since quarantine started. I'm hoping not to buy too many more, because between these and the library and a few other books I haven't read, I should be set for a while. So I'll try and go through these pretty quickly because there's a good chunk of them. But yeah, let's go. We'll start with Book Outlet. And this first book I actually bought for my husband. It's called An Honorable Man by Paul Vidich. It's the story of a CIA agent during the Cold War. I don't remember much more than that, but if I want to read more, I have to get him to read more. So I'm always on the lookout for books I think he will like. He needs books that feel like a television show, that keep him engaged, that do not require a lot of thought, because he uses his brain all day long, and he's reading a lot during the day for work, and so he just needs things that let him check out a little bit. So we'll see. Then I also got Florida by Lauren Groff. This is a set of short stories that take place in Florida. I'm hoping to read this maybe in July or August, because North Carolina gets really hot and humid, not quite to the extent of Florida, but I feel like will put me in the mood. I think this is supposed to be kind of like seeped in setting. And so I want to read more short story collections. I've heard great things about this book. And it was a National Book Award finalist. So we'll give it a shot. Next up from Book Outlet was Persuasion. It's this fake leather cover, I think. It's really pretty. I read Sense and Sensibility, which actually, while I'm at it, this is my last Book Outlet. The other ones I bought were for my children. I also got Sense and Sensibility since the start of quarantine, but I've already read this one, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Pride and Prejudice several years ago, and so I want to read more Jane Austen. And so I got Persuasion, and I've heard a lot of people say that Persuasion is their favorites. Favorites? Favorite. So yeah, and it's pretty. Yay. And so then I guess we'll talk about Sense and Sensibility. I have a vlog out with this, so I won't spend any time really talking about it, other than I got the version that has a guide to reading and reflecting by an English professor named Karen Swallow Prior. And I'm really glad I did. Her background info really helped me gain more from the story, and probably made it more funny as well, because I was catching the jokes I maybe wouldn't have caught to begin with. All right, speaking of Jane Austen, the Jane Austen Society. So the next few books came from my local bookstore, and I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not sure where it is. Or what it is right now. That's not good. Maybe I bought too many books if I can't remember. But the Jane Austen Society, this is a new release. It came out at the end of May about this town where Jane Austen lived at the end of her life, and there are a lot of really big Jane Austen fans there, and somebody is trying to buy the land and the house where Jane Austen lived and like raise it and build something different. And there are people in the town are fighting against it. It's supposed to have very like Guernsey literary and potato peel pie society vibes, which is my favorite book I read last year. It's historical fiction. It's Jane Austen. It's set in Old Britain. I can't wait to get to this one. And it's pretty too. I like the flowers. Sorry. Oh. Sorry, this one could not find the stuffed monkey, Muck. So had to go for a minute. Next up is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Oh, The Jane Austen Society is by Natalie Jenner. Forgot to mention the author. It's terrible. I don't know a whole lot about The House in the Cerulean Sea. It was on Anne Vogel, Modern Mrs. Darcy, her summer reading guide. I know there are magical youth that are being kept in orphanages, and there's a social worker who everyone believes that this is like the best and safest place for these children, and he is sent to visit an orphanage on an island. And I think when he's there, he discovers that maybe these places aren't the best for these children after all. So it's a gorgeous cover. It actually reminds me of a child's picture book, which maybe that doesn't sound good, but like the illustrations in picture books are often just out of this world, beautiful, gorgeous, amazing. And so that's actually a really big compliment, I think. But that's why I decided to buy this one instead of get it from the library, just because it is gorgeous. Okay, the last book from my local bookstore, Flyleaf Books, is Wundersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow. I just finished this book. So you'll hear about it on like a June wrap up, probably in a few weeks. And it is the sequel to Nevermore, which is a story about Morrigan. What is those? I have to say girl swimming. Apparently she is going to look at this book. You can look at the back. Sorry. But yeah, so Nevermore is the story of Morrigan, and this book is by Jessica Townsend. Gosh, I am terrible at the authors today. That is Morrigan, and she, it's this 11-year-old girl who thinks she's cursed. She gets taken away to a new land, finds a new, story of home and found family and friendship, and, kind of a child savior type thing. Loved the first one. Read it in March, waited a couple months, but gave in. I gave in and I bought it. That are some kids in a car. We're going to put this book, okay? We'll let them look at it, see? So they can see it. And we'll put it right there, okay? Can you help me show this book? This book I got from Amazon because they didn't have it and couldn't get it in time from my local bookstore. I'm so sorry. Can they see it at least first? It's I Captured the Castle by Dodie Smith. And there was a different version that was really, really pretty that I really loved. It was hardcover and it was yellow and it was beautiful. And I tried to order it from my local bookstore and they had it back ordered, and I ordered it from Amazon and they canceled the order. I guess you can't get that copy right now, so I had to order this other one, but I'm doing a read along and it starts in just a few days, so I had to order it from Amazon rather than my local bookstore since it was going to take too long for them to get it in. Mommy. You're showing them? Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. And lastly, I'm going to go over the Kindle books that I bought. These were all like Kindle book deals. I get an email every day that has some Kindle book deals on them for, $2 or $3. And I try not to buy something every day, but I buy something here and there. And so the three I bought, the first one is called A Study in Charlotte. And I talked about this one a little more in depth in my May wrap up. This is by Brittany Cavallaro, and it is the story of the great-great-grandchildren of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. And they are the main suspects in a murder, and they have to work together to prove their innocence. It's young adult, it's mystery, friendship. Oh yeah, no, we're done with that one. You're gonna show them to him again? Okay. It was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and definitely worth the $2. Good job putting it on the stack. Oh, nope. Okay. All right, the next one is Evvie Drake Starts Over, or Evvie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes. I know this one was really, don't eat it. No. A few years ago, a couple years ago, maybe last year actually. Don't eat it. And Evvie is recently widowed and she rarely leaves her house. She lives in this house in Maine. And then there's Dean, who is a former MLB pitcher, and he can't throw straight anymore, and he moves into an apartment at Evvie's house. There's a friendship that begins, plus more probably. I may try to read this one when we're in my husband's family. We're gonna go there in July. They live in New Hampshire, so it's not quite Maine, but it's close, so that might be fun. But it does sound like just a fun summer read. Sorry, I really don't want her to eat my book. And then last but not least is, those are people. People walk outside, yeah. The last one is I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erika L. Sanchez. This is a young adult about a story that takes place, it doesn't matter actually, I think Chicago, but I don't know if that's true actually. But when Julia's sister, Olga, who she would say was the perfect Mexican daughter, when she dies, Julia is left behind to pick up the pieces. And in the process, she learns that Olga might not have been as perfect as she thought. And so her and a friend or two try to figure out Olga's secret. And there's also just these questions that Julia has of like, will she ever be able to live up to this ideal of Olga now that Olga's gone? So I've heard great things about this book. And so when I saw that it was on sale on my Kindle, I snagged it and I can't wait to read it. Okay, I think this is probably getting long enough. Buying books is fun, but not quite as fun as reading them. And so I'm excited to get to all of these and hopefully not overwhelm my bookshelves with books that I might not ever read. Sarah, can we say bye?
Bye.
Bye. Oh, no, let's black cut. Yeah, so have you read any of these books? Do you want to read any? Have you heard of them? Blah, blah, blah. What is your favorite book that you've bought recently? Let's talk in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more bookish content. I bought a lot of kids books recently too, so there may be a kids book haul as well coming out. But yeah, we love books here in our house and we're glad that you do too. Bye. Can you say bye?
I press the button.
You want to press the button. Okay. Can you press it?